Hello, this is Jan Fischer from Red Hat. Thanks for having me on this Innovative Technologies panel at the HPC User Forum. I wanted to quickly talk about what we here at Red Hat been concerned with in terms of the emerging HPC trends. You can see them on your screen. I think this has been talked about enough. We are from Red Hat specifically focused on cloud enablement of HPC workloads, and also deeply concerned with containerization of different workflows, including HPC. So at the Supercomputing 2019, we outlined our strategy around multi-phase approach to enabling containers in preparation of the exascale deployments, which are now just around the corner. And so for that, we kind of saw a step-by-step process that we wanted to implement. Initially with the crawl phase being mostly about education, also introduction of the Linux native container tools that you can run on a single host. We created Podman and introduced universal base image that allows you to build a RHEL compatible container and also freely distribute that container and share with your colleagues or outside of your immediate organization. Podman is fully compatible with Docker, and it also has some additional functions that and functionalities that are very, very interesting and very relevant to the HPC. The second phase includes scaling HPC workloads to run on containers. And we were concerned with provisioning and management of containers, not specifically orchestration, but also letting the containers take advantage of all the hardware that exists on the systems today that accelerate the execution of the workloads, as well as the ability to run them in parallel way using MPI jobs. And finally, the phase that we're entering now, orchestration of HPC jobs with Kubernetes, which means tight integration with MPI schedulers, also enabling access to distributed file systems to provide the data that is needed for some of these applications, and then expanding to different verticals. So what specifically have Red Hat been focused on in the past year? We have been really focused on engaging the exascale computing project on supercontainers. So we worked with ECP, Srusandy, and National Labs to develop a container platform for the future exascale systems that are based on Podman that I mentioned and UBI. And we provided an ability to run these across multiple hardware architectures. We just kicked off a new workflow with Red Hat, IBM, and Lawrence Livermore Lab to essentially create a standard interface for commonly used schedulers in OpenShift and Kubernetes as a consequence. So this will allow you to bring your own scheduler to the existing OpenShift cluster and run and orchestrate your entire physical and containerized environment using OpenShift. And finally, from the access to distributed file systems standpoint, containers did not have access to the distributed file systems in the past. So we worked out and demonstrated a way to run a typical scientific application, GROMACS in this case, running fully containerized on OpenShift, using MPI, accessing the Lustre file system to get the data from and write back to. So those are the three main areas that I quickly glanced over. Of course, there's not enough time to go into details, but you can do that on your own. I'm providing you with some resources here to take a look to take a look at, and you can either use the QR code or type up the link to get access to these documents. They cover the three topics that I just discussed. And then from the perspective of when this technology is going to be available, some of them are available today and they're just not very well known. Some of them are being incorporated into the future releases of Red Hat OpenShift, our Kubernetes platform, as well as Red Hat Enterprise Linux. What we're looking to get out of the larger community is collaboration. I think collaboration and the way we develop software in the open is extremely important for us. So thank you very much for having me today on this panel. And if there's anything that I can encourage you to do, that would be sharing this information with within the organization, with your constituencies, and asking them to reach out to myself or to your contact at Red Hat and inquire or participate in our upstream work in enabling these technologies. Thank you again, and have a great day.